Good afternoon and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11grinds. I'm here to take a look at some pitching to start the second half of the MLB season. It is Friday. It is the 18th of July. We do have an 11-game main slate. Yep, 11 game. No weather to worry about. Temperatures across the nation have kind of cooled down. We're seeing a lot of games early July in the upper 80s and 90s. Little lower temps, but Tampa Bay is still the warmest, or St. Pete, I guess. Wind slightly blown out. Probably the best hitting environment. There is a Coors Field series as well. But aside from that, not a whole lot to worry about weather-wise for pitching. So let's just jump into the pitching on this evening's slate. Reminder, this is a first look at the pitching options, and I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play in FanDuel, I'll cut my pool in half or so. Pricing isn't as tight. You don't have to be as creative. It allows you to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. So let's just jump in. Obviously, I don't know that everything is set in stone from a pitcher standpoint. Just before I started recording, the Yankees announced that they're going to have Ian Hamilton open. Not really sure what the plans are after that. Saying an expected bullpen game. Definitely pay attention to news there. That'll have, a lot to do, or a lot to say about the slate tonight in Atlanta. One of the better hitting environments, and obviously Atlanta's offense can be dangerous, even though they haven't really at this point. So where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Now the priciest pitcher on the slate is Seth Lugo. Can't say I ever imagined that being the case, but here we are. K-prop of 4.5 juices on the over, but still, K-prop of 4.5 is not overly enticing. The nice thing is he does get one of the better matchups on the slate. Marlins, it's not a huge strikeout opponent, but he hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs since the end of May. We're over a month and a half past that at this point. Just super steady, super solid. Probably should be one of the chalkiest options, I think, on this slate. Even though we might be just waiting to get clarification on some pitching. But let's see what we have for ownership here. He's actually not under 7%. Really shocking. Lower owned than the opposition in Sandy Alcantara. Super weird. But we have to update, obviously, because Max Fried is not going to be starting for the Yankees. They are giving him some additional rest, but very interesting. I do like Lugo as a safe option. I guess I'm just going salary-wise. I normally go game by game, but I was so eager to point out how Lugo is the most expensive pitcher on the slate. Spencer Strider, as we just saw, expected to be the chalkiest pitcher on the slate. Extremely. Which is a little weird. We obviously know what kind of upside he offers, but he hasn't been the real Spencer Strider for much of the season. He's gotten to be better recently, but still, only one real upside type performance. Pitching in this ballpark, it's not bad. It's not, it's not anything like New York. He is at his best when at home, but he does allow more hits, more home runs in this ballpark. It's an interesting matchup, and I think there's plenty of upside for him, but it is still a dangerous one with the power that the Yankees offer. Like I said, a little shocked to see him at 41%. I may end up underweight, which is rare for me. I may end up around the 25 to 30% range. I have to obviously dig in more, but the upside's there, and that's what we look for in GPPs, so I guess I can't really argue it too much. Luis Castillo getting to pitch at home, where he's been infinitely better than on the road. Strikeout numbers are even better. Not a huge K guy any longer. He's made 2 starts against Houston and absolutely dominated. Does give up a lot of hits though, or has in the 2 starts. Let's see if I can find them quickly. Yeah, I guess one start he gave up 9 hits, and in the other one I think he just gave up 2 hits or 5 hits. Sorry, I can't add. Yeah, I don't really love playing Castillo, but I think he makes a lot of sense in this matchup. On the slate, since he is pitching at home, trying to locate his K-prop. 5.5, juices on the over, pretty solidly on the over. Castillo, obviously, one of the chalkier options as well. No problems with him. Lodolo, definitely somebody I want to utilize. The Mets have struggled against left-handed pitching. I was looking at some offensive numbers earlier today, and it did kind of stand out to me. They're just not as dangerous against left-handed pitching as you'd think. Team OPS of 129, or not OPS, but ISO of 129. The leader in OPS from everyday players is Juan Soto at 787. Lindor's under 700. So overall, I think the lineup is weak enough against left-handed pitching that I'm interested in Lodolo. See if I can find his K-prop. 5.5. Juices on the under. But a super low-owned Lodolo, 4%. I am very interested. As you see, our rating gives him a perfect 100 as well. So, very interested in Nick Lodolo. I understand it's volatile. Definitely somebody that can blow up in our face. Next matchup, next spot, Chris Bassett, somebody that I like using at home as well. Pretty extreme home road splits, very similar to Luis Castillo. His K number super strong at home as well. San Francisco, probably not a huge K upside matchup per se, but still, I do think that Bassett is somebody that we want to utilize on this particular slate. Around 10% owned right now. Not super heavy by any means. K-prop of 5.5, juices on the under. Definitely somebody I want to utilize as well. So, I mean, we're using the top 5 guys here. Probably using the 6th guy in Glass now. I do have a little bit of worry. His last start before the All-Star break was against the Brewers. It has been long enough, a week and a half-ish, that I think he's all right. That was his first start back from a lengthy IL stint. Threw 85 pitches, so he should be pretty decent. He is at home. Split numbers this year, tough to figure out because he has only made 6 starts. It's just not allowing hits. It's the walks that have been a big issue when at home. That was the road. Home runs have been the big issue when at home. So, Milwaukee, not the most powerful of teams. I think Glasnow's certainly in play for upside. Right now, so does the field, apparently. Quinn Priester, been a reverse splits guy so far this season with the Brewers. I'm still not ready to anoint him this good. That was against Colorado. But I actually would not be shocked to see him be respectable. He has been quite a bit worse when on the road where he's at tonight, so I'm just not playing Quinn Priester against the Dodgers. Slade Cecconi, somebody that I just feel like I can't get right. I have used him a couple times. He did shut down the A's in Sacramento the first time he faced them, just didn't rack up strikeouts. Struck out a bunch against Houston in his last start. He has upside. He was always talented with the D-backs. I am going to utilize him, even though he has been much better away from home. I like the upside potential in this spot. He is just volatile, so he's not somebody I want to go super heavy on. Projected at 12%. We can play 15 to 20% and feel okay about it and not be too exposed at this point. Brandon Walters, somebody that we've used a couple of different times. I think I'm going to pass on him in this spot. He's been pretty bad on the road. I kind of like how a couple of the Mariners profile against him. as I did my bats writing earlier this morning. So a little backwards today, but it still is the first look at the actual pitchers. But I do like the way that the Mariners kind of profile against Walter, so I'm going to pass on him. Thought it's been phenomenal when pitching at home. Well, actually, that wasn't his numbers, which is good. I guess he's been, better when at home. But still not somebody I want to trust, especially in a matchup against a team that doesn't strike out all that much. So it's probably a pretty easy pass at this point. Payante on the other side. If I felt like he had more K upside, I'd be interested. He has been best when on the road where he's at this evening. I just don't think it's a great spot for him overall. Reese Olson, somebody that we have used previously, was decent. Actually, not even decent against the Rangers the first time I faced them. I must have been looking at something else earlier, but he's much better when at home. But he's not allowing a ton of hits on the road, but still, Reese Olson just not somebody I'm all that interested in. Charlie Morton's somebody that does intrigue me a little bit. He did shut down Tampa Bay the one time he faced them. He's been pretty bad on the road. This ballpark, obviously, been a lot of home runs hit, etc. But in July, Tampa Bay has kind of struggled overall offensively. So I do think that Charlie Morton is somebody that I want to get some exposure to, especially at just 3.5% ownership. Easy to get to 10%, be nearly 3 times the field, and still not overexpose yourself in case of a blow up. Patrick Corbin, somebody that I am considering, but I have to think more about it. Was decent against Detroit the first time, just didn't rack up strikeouts. Left-handed pitching against Detroit has been decent, but I do really love Torkelson tonight against him, so it is questionable, but he has been pretty good at home. If he makes my pool, he's probably the very last man in, to be honest. Taj Bradley against Baltimore. Definitely a ton of upside. Has been lit up by Baltimore this season. Has struggled a bit at home, but he does have upside. I'm kind of torn. I think I'd rather play Corbin than Taj Bradley, but they're very similar, or at least in the similar boat for me in my debate on what I'm going to do. Those two guys are going to be right at the bottom, and if I need to, we'll probably remove Bradley first, Corbin second, but we will dig into it more as the afternoon progresses. Sean Manaea, 65 pitches in his first start. Just 3 1/3 innings. Did pick up 7 strikeouts. A big thing for me is Cincinnati struggled mightily as a whole against left-handed pitching for much of the season. I do think they turned it on a little bit to close out the first half or first 2/3 of the season. But I do think Manaea is an interesting play. Problem is how many pitches are we going to get? If we can get 80 to 90, I think he's in play. He did rack up pitch count quite early to get to that 65 pitches. But overall, the Reds have a team ISO of just 134 against left-handed pitching, so I'm definitely interested in Sean Manaea. Kind of the rest of the names down here I'm not overly interested in. Paddock, even though it is against the Rockies, I'm just not sure I want to utilize him in Coors. He hasn't had a strong start in a month and a half or more. So, Verlander against Toronto, no thank you. Sears against Cleveland could be. That's something I'm going to dig into more, just because Cleveland has struggled so much. And I have to dig into Alcantara at home, just because he's looking to be super popular, or at least more popular than I think he should be. But we'll have to dig in again. But there we have it. There's our first look at pitching. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And you can always hit up our merch store. I'll have a link down below. You can pick up my hoodie and some of the other designs we have on our website, on the merch website. So check it out. Let me know. And as always, best of luck, everybody.